Vice President Kamala Harris did something unusual this week. She sat down for an interview with Fox News, a network known for its conservative stance. This was her first appearance on the network since becoming VP, making it a significant moment. The chosen interviewer? None other than Bill Hemmer, a seasoned journalist known for his pointed questions and no-nonsense approach. The topic? You guessed it, immigration, one of the most contentious issues in American politics today. Now, we all know Fox News leans right, often challenging the policies of the current administration. And immigration is a topic that gets everyone fired up, sparking intense debates across the nation. So, you can imagine the tension in the air during this high-stakes interview. This wasn't going to be your typical polite political interview. Hemmer didn't waste time, diving right into the tough questions. He went straight for the jugular, grilling Harris on the Biden administration's handling of the border crisis. He brought up the surge in migrants, especially unaccompanied minors, demanding clear answers and accountability. Harris, to her credit, didn't back down. She stood her ground and responded with confidence. She knew what she was walking into, fully aware of the challenging environment. She was ready for a fight, prepared to defend her administration's policies and actions. Hemmer came armed with footage, determined to make a point. We're talking overcrowded border facilities, kids sleeping on floors, the whole 9 yards. The images were heart-wrenching and painted a dire picture. He wanted Harris to see it, to feel the weight of the situation, to understand the gravity of what was happening at the border. He asked her straight up, "Is this a crisis?" The question hung in the air, heavy with expectation. Harris, a former prosecutor, is a master of language, skilled in navigating tough questions. She chose her words carefully, acknowledging the challenges at the border but stopping short of calling it a full-blown crisis. Her response was measured, deliberate. This didn't sit well with Hemmer. He was looking for a more definitive answer. He pressed harder, highlighting the record number of apprehensions at the border. The back and forth was intense, with neither side willing to back down. Hemmer argued that the Biden administration's softer tone on immigration had encouraged more people to make the dangerous journey north. He emphasized the risks involved. Harris countered by blaming the previous administration for dismantling existing immigration systems, arguing that they had left the current administration with a broken system to fix. Despite the tough questions, Harris stuck to her guns. She defended the Biden administration's approach, emphasizing the need for both security and compassion. She talked about the root causes of migration, poverty, violence, and corruption in Central America. She pointed to the administration's efforts to address these issues, like investing in those countries to create better opportunities. She also highlighted the reopening of facilities for unaccompanied minors that had been closed under the previous administration. Hemmer wasn't buying it entirely. He argued that the situation at the border spoke for itself. He questioned whether the administration's actions were actually making a difference. Now, we can't talk about immigration without mentioning the elephant in the room, the Republicans. For years, they've been vocal about their stance on this contentious issue. They've been hammering the Biden administration on this issue, accusing it of being too lenient and ineffective. They say the border is wide open, that the current policies are a disaster. Their solution? More walls, more agents, more restrictions. They believe this is the only way to secure the nation. They want to go back to the tough approach of the previous administration, which they argue was more effective in controlling illegal immigration. Even though many argue that only made things worse, creating humanitarian crises and straining resources. Republicans also point the finger at the Biden administration's decision to reverse some of the Trump-era policies, claiming these reversals have led to increased border crossings, like the Remain in Mexico policy, which required asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their claims were processed. They say this sent a message that America is open for business, and that anyone can come in without proper vetting, encouraging more migrants to come, thus overwhelming the system and creating chaos at the border. So, who's right? Is the border in chaos because of Biden's policies, or is he trying to clean up a mess left by his predecessor? The truth is, it's complicated. The situation at the border is a Gordian knot of policy, economics, and human desperation. There are no easy answers. One thing is clear, the current system is broken. We can't keep treating desperate people like criminals, but we also need to find a way to manage migration in a way that's fair and sustainable. The interview with Kamala Harris was a stark reminder that immigration is one of the most divisive issues in America today. It's an issue that's deeply personal for many, and it's often used as a political weapon. What we need is a real conversation, a nuanced discussion about how to fix our broken immigration system. We need to find a way to balance compassion with enforcement, security with humanity. This isn't just about politics, it's about people's lives. It's about the soul of America. We can do better. We have to do better.